Now, YouTube is online again. Yes, YouTube works. How about Twitch? Really? Really, Twitch? Why doesn't Twitch work? Maybe it works now. It'd be really nice. Hi, so this is the second try of getting the stream running. I don't know why it doesn't want to do it what it's supposed to do today. Normally it just works. Today it doesn't. Which is really, really frustrating, to say the least. We'll just see how this goes. Wait, what? Why? Oh gosh, something is really, really broken here. I think it just doesn't want to work today. Maybe building the streaming PC wasn't such a good idea after all, I don't know. Maybe there's still a chance to get this working. I hope so, and I'm working on it. Because... no, but it seems that it just really doesn't want to work today. I'm not entirely sure why. Normally it just works and didn't change the setup in months, and before I did a test stream and it just worked, and now of course when I actually stream it just breaks down. You know, technology. That's why we all do this. Or so. So let's try this once more, and I hope it now works. Otherwise, I think I have to say I'm sorry, but today is not the day, apparently. Which sucks, but some days are just like that. So one more try to get this show going. I'm not entirely sure if you can hear me at all, because it's doing very strange things today here. Not entirely sure what the issue is. Well, I think Twitch is not working today, so yeah, it seems Twitch is having issues, which is just great. I mean, hey, only wanted to stream today. I mean, it's not like I need Twitch ingest service to work for that. I guess. So there's that. Not exactly what I expected to break down. But hey, you always get to learn something new. So yeah. Guess that's what we learned today, that Twitch broke or something like that. So it's the last thing I try is to try a different Twitch ingest server. Apparently the ones in Frankfurt doesn't work. So let's try one in Berlin. Maybe that works. Just strange that it just worked and now it broke down. Anyway, if you're just tuning in, this stream originally was planned to be a stream about me rebuilding my streaming PC, so I'm using a little bit improvised streaming setup with a hardware encoder that's directly hooked up to a camera, and that is streaming to my usual streaming setup, which is an Nginx server running some restreaming magic, so I can simultaneously stream to Twitch and YouTube and to my private little streaming thingy. But today, apparently, the tech gods don't like me and everything broke down, because why not? Or Twitch doesn't like me because I can't connect to Twitch anymore. Maybe because of the reconnect before they blocked my IP address or something. I don't have a clue, to be honest. It does not really make sense. But hey, who knows? So, no stream on Twitch today. Only on YouTube. I hope you can hear me and everything works. And then we will just directly jump into the whole process. Yes, so I recently, well, a couple days ago, the fan of the power supply of my streaming PC broke down, so I took it apart, and because of the way the old PC was built, it was built in a 19-inch rack case. I needed to take out all the parts anyway to get to the power supply and to remove it, and because of that, I thought it would be a nice opportunity to rebuild it, because I wanted to change it and move it into a different case anyway for a long time. So I removed everything yesterday and cleaned off all the parts because of the dust that accumulated over the last couple months, even though the case had dust filters, but a little bit of dust gets through anyway all the time. So that's what happened so far. And now I'm going to unpack the new case and start rebuilding. So, small overview, that's an Asus, AMD Asus Radeon Vega R64. That's an Asus Aorus. Now, of course, I forgot what the sixth. It's a Gigabyte, not Asus, what I'm talking about. It's a Gigabyte X470 Aorus Ultra Gaming mainboard. And on there is currently an AMD Ryzen 2700. I wanted to put a 2700X on there, but when I built the PC it wasn't available and I needed it fast because my old workstation broke down. So I had to go for the 2700, not the 2700X. That's life. This one is a capture card that can capture DVI and VGA and also HD-SDI. It can capture it simultaneously, which is nice. Normally this is hooked up to my oscilloscope, the DVI input, so I can throw the oscilloscope screen into my streams, and the SDI input is used for an additional camera. This is an old Blackmagic Decklink HD Extreme 3D card. It has a dual channel SDI in and dual channel SDI out. So you sadly can't use them as the two separate camera inputs or SDI video outputs. You actually only can use them for frame-packed 3D signals, where basically one SDI connection each is carrying the left and the right eye, or you can use it for outputting a video signal with a separate alpha channel that's outputting the second SDI output, which is quite handy if you do like live streaming or other things with a hardware video mixer, which I have, and you want to do overlays or graphics. You can just output them with a full res alpha channel, so you don't have to fiddle around with chroma keying or luma keying. So with that said, I think we can just jump right into it and build the whole thing. I'm trying to keep on in chat if you say something, and maybe also we'll try off and on again to get Twitch working. Who knows, maybe it's just magically starts working again. I mean, it would be nice, but who knows. So that's that so far. Let's just drop a tweet on Twitter that Twitch isn't working. Let's maybe blankly throw this into the Twitch chat, because, hey. Okay, so, without further ado, let's start unpacking the case. If you're curious, the case is an Be Quiet Dark Space 700. I decided to use that a while ago, actually a couple months ago, and just never had the time or never wanted to take apart the old PC to build it. So for now, we'll just move away the other hardware, so we can make some space for tonight's main attraction, so to speak. Okay, so if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, it's not small. Let's put it that way. I hope the audio is working and everything. I have some server-side loudness normalization going on, but the camera mic is a directional mic, and so sometimes the audio might be a bit not the best. Let's put it that way. If I'm at a weird angle to the microphone. Okay, let's try this another way to get it out. It's not really built in a way to get it out easily. So, yeah, well, you can't see much right now, but that should change in a minute or so. Oh, a manual. So, interesting. It was sideways in the packaging. Also, I just got shocked by the thing. Glad that everything now is on a ESD mat, that it is of course grounded, so there shouldn't be any of those issues anymore. Now, is that just a protection? Yeah, that's a protection screen under the glass. Otherwise I was thinking, oh great, it comes with scratches, but it didn't, so that's good. So let's remove the glass side cover. Put it into a safe spot. So here we have it. Oh, there's another space for an additional fan up there, but the way it looks, it would be in the way for any kind of optical drives, and I have a Blu-ray burner. Wait. Oh, I'm smart! It actually does not support any kind of optical drives. So Smart choice, Jenny. You bought a case where you can't put in your Blu-ray drive. Oh well. So we'll think about something for that. I mean, I wasn't only using it once for every new Blu-ray or so. When I got it to rip it and put it on my storage system, because it's just easier to access them than just having to find them somewhere and put them into a Blu-ray player. I mean, I have one hooked up to my system in the living room, but you know, laziness wins. Okay, maybe give the manual a quick look, just to see what they want me to do. Maybe there are some tricks to it that I don't know yet. Yeah, fan controller, blah blah blah. Warranty, something, what's entailed in the package. Okay, so so this has a very weird layout. It jumps from page 7 to page 46 because the other language versions of the package contents are in there first. So, okay. I mean, that's a way you can lay out the manual. Maybe not the smartest way, but oh well. Great, fan compatibility, okay, that's clear. Then you can put in a water cooling system. How to remove the side covers. Installation and removal of the drives. That's so far clear as well. Okay, are there any supposed, is there any way that we supposed to special way that we're supposed to install the hardware? Doesn't seem like it. Hi, Laura. So, inverted layout. I don't want to invert the layout, but it's nice that that's possible. So, yeah, they just want you to install everything the usual way around. PSU after the main components, apparently. Okay, so without further ado, maybe we just remove the PSU cover to peek inside there. Not that we start mounting something and then figure out that something is broken. So they tell us we should install the PSU, but what's the magic way to remove the PSU cover? Oh, I see. You can only get to the PSU from the other side. So, Oh, I managed to entangle myself in the headphone cable. You know, I'm a fox and I'm really good at doing stuff like that. So let's see if I manage to get myself out of this cable jam. Now this is really weird. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, here it goes. However, I managed to do that without noticing. But yeah, things like that happen. Okay. So, here is the whole side view. Here is a ton of cables to be attached to the main board. Oh yes, okay. Here's their fan controller thingy, where you can basically, it controls all of the main fans of the case. I'm not sure if I will end up using it or not, because my mainboard has enough fan control pins, so I could hook them all up directly. Not sure about that yet. But so far, everything is as you would expect. There's the holders for normal SSDs, with 2.5-inch SSDs. My system drive is an NVMe SSD, so I won't. Well, my Linux system drive is an NVMe SSD. There's also Windows on there, and the Windows is using a normal 2.5-inch SSD drive. So what do we get here? We have, wow, we have a single 3.5-inch drive cage. That's really generous of them. Good, okay, so let's put in the back cover for the rear I/O connectors. Normally you have a top-down view from above, but that doesn't work without the streaming PC because I can't hook up the camera anywhere. So let's see, everything should be in the right place. Let's carefully put this in here. Yes. That works nicely. Let's see. A bunch of different screw types here. Oops. Those are the for the 3.5-inch drive. Now, I'm not entirely certain what they put in for spaces for the main board. Okay. Those little screws here. Well, okay. So then let's mount the main board. I'm just putting in the screws loosely at first and only going to tighten them down once all the screws are in place, because I'm able to see already that there's at least one hole right now that is not lined up perfectly, despite being in the middle, where they have like one of the spacers that hasn't not a hole inside, but it has like a little dome top, so it lines up the main board before you even put in the first screw, which is a neat thing. So that's a nice feature to have. And another thing is, it's nice to have tools that are not magnetic for some things, but for some other things, like getting a screw into this recessed screwing hole, mainboard mounting hole, it's actually not that handy. But for what do you have pliers? So yeah, and that screw is making a little bit troubles. Something is wrong there. Let's take a look. Yes, it's not really in the right spot. Something is... Now that's interesting. Better? Not really. See if we can get the other screws in. Wonder why it's just the one hole that's not lined up really well, and if it's Gigabyte who somehow managed to fuck up the positioning of that mounting hole, or if Be Quiet did. Right now it kinda seems like Be Quiet, because I can't remember having the issue in the diff other case, but it could also just be my memory. That's a bit faulty. Would really be it's really one of the worst positions for the screw not to fit, because there are the screws around the CPU where a lot of weight is hanging on the mainboard because of the CPU cooler. But it's only missing a little tiny bit, so maybe with a little bit of gentle force we can get it in. Yes, and it's in. So let's tighten everything down. So now that's taken care of. Also, an interesting notion, they actually supply 9 screws for the mainboard. Well, oh yes, well, never mind what I said. I just missed one screw. So just forget what I said. Okay. That's done. Let's they put in the graphics card next, but I think the better thing would be to put in the power cables for the mainboard next, because then we just have more space to work those cables. So I mentioned that the fan of my power supply broke. Well, the fan is still broken. And it was a bit harder to source replacement fan. And so what I am going to do is I have a spare power supply that has a high enough wattage that I'm going to put in. It was only shortly in use in a different project, and since then has been sitting on a shelf for some future project. And as it turns out, the future project is my workstation, because the other power supply broke. It's also newer than the power supply that broke, so that's a plus as well. Oh, interesting. There are 2 more. Well, I can show you in a sec, but well, maybe you can show it to me right now. There are 2 more 3.5-inch drive bays, but now I'm kind of. Oh yes, there are 2 more here that are pre-installed, and the one that comes in the package you can put in one of those slots over here, and you can add more drives that way. Just have to make sure that they don't collide with some PCI Express card you might have that's long. So one thing that's a bit unhandy with that case design and the power supply, which is actually from the same manufacturer, is that you have a really hard time accessing the modular outlets of the power supply when you put in the power supply. because you can't remove the covering on the other side. So that's a bit unhandy. Also, sorry for the squeaking chair. It's I need to figure out what part of it is squeaking and give it some love to fix it. But well, so now what do we have here? We have USB 3.0. Oh, actually USB 3.1. Then we have the usual power LED, HDD LED, power switch, reset switch, and what do we have here? Oh, that's for LEDs. They have like an LED controller also on here, so that's where you can hook up a digital LED strip. So let's figure out the rest of those cables here. That's going to LED 1 and oh, it actually is not a digital LED strip, it's just a usual RGB strip with a common ground. Oh, with a common 12-volt line, not a common ground, but I'm talking. And there's also a third header on here for a third RGB strip. That cable just goes up there because there are some built-in RGB strips in the front, so I guess that's hooked up that way. Why the cable has so much excess cabling, I'm not entirely sure. You'll find some way to get that taken care of nicely. That's the way they power the whole thingy by adapter to SATA power. So what do we have here? We have an audio, HD audio. Oh yes, okay, so I talked nonsense. This is USB 3.0 and that's the USB 3.1. So here we have, they call it PWM cable, so apparently that's attached to the fan controller thingy, so apparently the way it works is you can switch it to, it has a switch with 4 positions for the fans, and one position is auto, so I guess the auto mode is then just passing through the PWM from the motherboard to all the fans that are hooked up to this fan controller, and you can actually hook up 6 fans to that thing, which is nice. One thing that I did, because the other power supply I can show it you after we're done here, actually it turns out I fixed that fan one time already, but now the exact same fan is not available anymore. But what I did back then is I actually modded the power supply a bit, so I was able to get out the pin that gives me the information of the fan speed, and I hooked it up to the power to the mainboard. So because normally those power supplies, despite being high-end ones, they don't give you a connection for the fan speed, so you can monitor it and get your system to tell you when your power supply fan breaks down, because you know, that might be a handy thing to know, especially if you have it, if you're not in the same room and remote control your PC and it's doing some low high intensity stuff like rendering, for example, some video or some 3D scene in Blender, and the power supply breaks down, and you kind of want to know that if that happens. So that's the P8 cable, I think, isn't it? Yes. So that's that. Then we have ones with SATA power. We need that too. Interesting how many drive power outputs that thing has. It has like 5 of them. It's okay. And then one of those has 3 connectors on there, so you don't definitely have enough spare power. So I never really understood that thing they ship with it. You have like an overclocking switch for the power supply, but I'm not entirely sure what the thing is even supposed to do. I mean, the power supply should not give you the right power rails. I mean, I at least hope not that they build something that does something crazy as that. I don't know. So, oh, there's another. Wait. What? Why are there? They have. Now that's interesting. They have one cable with a dedicated P8 and connect on a P4 P8 split connector that's hooked up to the same outlet, and then they have a second cable with just a P4 and P8 split connector. But as far as I know, my mainboard has only one P8 connector, so I will use that one so it have less cable clutter in there. So interesting. And they also have a dedicated P4 cable. So why do they ship so many P4 and P8 cables with that power supply? I don't know. Then they have apparently a cable with an old Molex power connector that has a dedicated output that's labeled MB. Maybe for some motherboards that have an Molex power in or something. I don't know. Another SATA power connector cable and another one. Where are the PCI Express power cables? Those are the ones I'm interested most right now. Maybe in here? There's a fourth box with power cables. So, what do we have here? More drive cables. Oh, here we have them. Now we're talking. So there we have our PCI Express power cables. Also interesting is I have two power cables, but the power supply has 3 PCI Express power outputs. So I guess you can buy a third one or something. But I do need the 8-pin connectors. The 3-pin, 6-pin connectors I can't use for that graphic card, and I need 2 of the 8 pins. So we hooked it up to PCI Express 1 and PCI Express 2. Let's see how this is supposed to fit in here. I think like that. Yes. So that's the first one. And that's the second one. Fun fact about the VGA power connectors. There's actually, I think like one of the ground pins, yes, of the 8-pin version, one of the additional ground pins actually is only there to tell the card that it's an 8-pin connector, so it knows it can draw more power, which is interesting, because it's also an additional, I don't know what wire gauge that is, but well, That's interesting design choice. So come on, get up there. So okay, we have that. So let's get this in here. All the cables. I sadly can't move that in a position where you're able to see more. I'm sorry about that. As said, today's stream is a little bit improvised because, well, that's my streaming PC I'm holding in my hands right now, so. And yes, I really have to take care of the chair. The squeaking is annoying. It's annoying me as well. Okay. So now let's get all those cables organized. Good. So the second one from the top would be a good spot to well, okay. That came out way too easily. Let's fill that back in there. Okay. A second try to get this in without pushing out the thingy. That works better. Now, let's get this attached. Okay, that does not want to be attached. I mean, it's a lot of cables and not the thin ones. Oh, stupid. So, of course it's not exactly making it easier. Okay, no, it was the right way. Okay, hold from the other side. Okay, that's hooked up. Now, the P8 power cable, I just had it here. Here it is. Well, okay. Once more fiddling around to get these cables untangled. Those are two PCI Express power cables. Those are another two PCI Express power cables. And that's the P8 power cable. Now, this is going to get interesting. Well, I think we have a problem here. Let's look if any of the other P8 cables are longer. Otherwise this will come to a quick end tonight, and I will need to go. Yes, it looks like I will need to go shopping tomorrow for an extension for the P8 power cable because it's too short. I mean, I would have thought that by buying a power supply and a case from the same manufacturer, both of the high-end line, that at least the cables that come with the power supply are long enough for their own case, but apparently not. So there's that, which is mightily annoying, to say the least. So that's the thing. Let's see if we can get those cables a bit more organized and we can, yes, only need those two cables. The other ones can be put in here somewhere where they are out of the way. It's like so those are taken care of. Yes, they say it's only for graphic card. Who would have guessed? Where? Here they are. Let's cut off those things. Be in the way anyway. So now with that taken care of, that we only need over here for the drives. Let's go back to the other side. Oh, wait, just noticed you can't see really. No, that should be better. Okay, so that's the too short cable. Maybe if we fiddle it through on the top over there. Oops, here's one of the soldering irons. Maybe if we do it like this, it works. It's not really what they... Oh, it's too small to fiddle through. Damn it. That doesn't work. Bummer. Maybe there's a bit of... Yes. Let's see if that works. So, it's on the top here. Maybe I will. What's the problem here? Wait, what? Are you kidding me? That was labeled P4, P8. Why does it have a different coding? What's the deal here? guess they hooked them up differently on that cable for whatever reason. That's just great. Let's see if we can get to that cable and plug in the other one without unplugging and mounting the power supply at the beat. That would really be handy, but I think we might be. Yes, we're out of luck with that. So let's unmount the power supply again. Yay! It's not exactly the way I imagined this to go. Okay. Great, now we have even more useless cables that we have to find some space for. Good. Now, where were we? Yes, more useless cables. So we have one useless PCU power cable, two useless VGA power cables, oh well, and VGA PCI Express power cables. Isn't that just great? So let's see if we can do the same trick again. I will get an extension and do it the other way around, but for now this will have to do. Okay. Also, my back is starting to hurt, which I am definitely not a fan of. Okay. Hey, that's plugged in. Yeah, and I ruined one of my fingernails. So, anyway, here's the USB 3.1 header. Put it this way, you can see that. That was my AVR programming dongle. So, that's the USB 3.1 header, and down here are the USB 3.0 headers, the front panel header, and over here is the audio header. Let's hope that at least other cables are long enough. Let's see, what do we have here? Also, the PWM fan cable that's supposed to go from their fan controller to the mainboard is, well, it's rather short. So I hope we have a fan header somewhere in the vicinity we can plug that in. So here you have the USB 3.1. It needs to go into the middle. So if you folks can see better what I'm doing. So that needs to go to the middle. So we have to get that out of here. And through here. No, front panel we can I put somewhere here on the side thingy, yes. The mainboard comes with a handy thingy where you have all the front panel connectors written on, so you can just stuck them in here and then plug it in and out of the mainboard in one go. So power switch and reset switch is that way. So reset and power goes in like that. Oh, come on. Why isn't it going in? No. And now for the other one. Here we go. So, reset and power is in there. Now, HDD LED. Yes, they're written on the polarity. I have seen so many vendors who don't do that, and then you have a matter of trial and error of taking out your multimeter to figure out which is the correct polarity of the LED connector. So that's in there. And now for the power LED. That's cathode. Oh yeah, that's... I have the feeling that's not going to work very well. Yeah, that's not going to work at all until we plug it in. So, now that's over there. What else do we have here? It's a connector for LED RGB strip. Here we have power, and it also stays on this side. And here we have the audio Now, let's hope that's long enough. Otherwise, I won't be most likely buying one of those. An extension cord for that as well. But we will see. Oh, yes, and USB 3.0, of course, also needs to go over there. It's also one of the reasons for the rebuild. The 19-inch rack mount case I have, or had in use up until now, it's so old it does not have USB 3 front panel connections, and the way it's built, it's also not... Whoa! We should not throw down the soldering station. Well, what I want to say is the way that the rack mount case is built, it's also not trivial to replace the USB 2.0 front panel connections with USB 3.0 front panel connections. So, it will be nice to have USB 3.0 front panel connections. And another nice thing is, with that case, I even get a USB 3.1 USB-C front panel connector. So, that's plugged in. Yes, the audio cable is also long enough. So there's the key pin over there. That's hooked up. Yay, and actually we are in luck, and there is a sys fan header right next to where the cable comes through. So that's nice. I want to have as little spare cables on this part, on this side of the wall as possible, because I want this side nice and clean. So now for the front panel connectors. Let's plug that in. Yes, this way. That's the correct way to plug it in. So, oh, now I can't read the, which is supposed to be the plus pin of the power LED. Wait, now I'm confused. We have power LED over here, and oh, it has two power LED connectors for whatever reason. So in this case, we can just put in the connectors, the two single pin ones over here, and we're done. Check the keying again so we don't break anything accidentally. Looks right. And front panel is hooked up. Now, careful to not throw down my soldering station. Now let's see what we can do with those spare cables. So there is less cable clutter because I don't like cable clutter. So that's the PVM. Oh, that's the wrong cable. That's power. Yes, that's the PVM cable. We can pull that up here. So the spare cable gets up there. Then the system front panel cable. Also capture here. So that's taken care of. I will add a bunch of zip ties to capture all of those flying cables once everything is finished. So the USB 3.0 cable we can just like put over here. Don't want to bend that in any way so it doesn't have any tight corners or something. Don't want to do that. Oh, that was not the smartest thing of me to do, but thankfully you can just unplug it and plug it back in again. That was easily taken care of. So now that's that spare cable that goes up to the LED strip in the front. Let's put that over here. So, oh, I might actually, I might undo that before I tie everything down to have not the audio cable running right next to the PVM lines for the LEDs. Might be not a bad thing to do that. Okay, so things to the left. Here's power for the front panel, for the fan controller and the LED controller. Then we have to put in the one 3.5-inch drive I have currently, and the one SSD drive that there is currently left with Windows on it. So let's get the SSD and mount that on the SSD caddy. Okay. So, I really like the way you can have like those holders you can put on SSDs and 3.5-inch drives. That's quite handy. Has been quite a while since I had my main workstation in a tower case. It was now for at least the last 10-something years. It always was a rack mount case. Like that rack mount case I used before has seen more than one generation of workstation in it. But with modern GPUs, it was just too small. I barely was able to fit in the GPU in that case, and I was noticing that there were airflow problems with something like my Radeon RX Vega 64 in there. So that's when I decided it was time for a change. Oh, no, that's right. Why isn't it? What's the problem here? Something does not like me. No. That's working. Good. So, that needs power. Might have to bend that cable tie out of the way. How is it going in that car? So, okay, that's hooked up. Now, that should be long enough. We will see. If not, well, we have some different options to take care of that. Okay. Now, okay, well, those are tied already down hard. Like, it's nice that they're supposed to be toolless, but if the screws are tightened down that hard, it's not really, can't really have a chance to get them unscrewed without tools. So let's get the old hard drive. So, let's tilt the camera back down again. Okay. 2 screws and then number 3 and number 4. Give this a quick dust off. Some of the hard drive screws. Okay, now get the drive in there. So the way the screws are designed, they actually do not tighten down against the caddy. So the disc is completely suspended via those rubber gaskets. That way it reduces the transfer of vibrations from the hard disk to the case and vice versa, which in the end should make the thing more silent, because you don't get noise from the hard disk vibrations, or well, yours. That's at least the way it's supposed to work. We will see once we're done how well it actually works. So So that's tightened down. Let's see. I think we will. Yeah. That's not going to fly. Well, kind of expected that. I think there was some power cable with just hard disk power cable with just one. Yes, here it's one with just one SATA power. So we can use that one. Well, you can use it if you can get it plugged in over there. Which might mean we have to unmount the power supply a third time. Because of the way that's designed, let's see if we can maybe not do that. It would be a good thing. I would be a fan of. Is there really no way to get the the power supply cover on that side? It really seems like you can't do that. That's stupid. Well, not stupid, but it's not really well thought through, so to say. Let's see. Fan compatibility, drive cages, HDD slot covers. Optimized cable routing. Moving the front cover. Okay. You can remove it by depressing the centrally marked area. Haha! And then here we go. So that helps, because now we can hook up the second drive output of the power supply. And fiddle that cable through. And suddenly we have a dedicated power cable for the for our SSD drive. Let's fiddle back in those spare power cables we don't need. Okay, they got tangled some way so that we can access it from both sides. Something we can fix easily. So that's untangled. These two cables are put over here, and there. So now that's done. Now let's see. Yes, that's the way it goes in. That's a USB 3.1 cable. Don't bend it too tightly. So, take a quick look that nothing is being thrown off the table over here. Whoops. Sorry about that. So, yeah, I can get that to lay here in a nice bend without any strain on the USB cable. So now that's taken care of. Let's hook up that, and we have here another connector for another drive that doesn't exist yet, but will sometime soon because I'm running out of disk space on that machine. Now that's the power supply of the fan and RGB controller taken care of. That's the spare RGB cable we can just put over here. Maybe just like that. So we can go to spare extraneous cable of that. So now that side is taken care of. Okay, now why is the piece of express power cable stuck? So, better. Now we can put in all the cards. Let's remove the back covers. So that's the GPU. See, yeah. Also engage the latch, that's good. Now for the power input. Wait. Oh, it's like, well, that's a bit of a mess. To bend them that way. That's one. Wait, did they? Oh, that's right. Why is it getting stuck? No. No, that's taken care of. Good. Now I have to check my phone in which slots I put in the other two cards, because I had a system to that. Okay, so the bottom PCI Express slot was used for the Blackmagic card, and the other one was used for the EI capture card. Yes. And we actually need all three. Back panels to be removed. Oh, here we go. So now the Black Magic card. Yeah. Whoops. Is that in? No, it's not. No. Good. Then the HDMI extension cables. That's really interesting how they designed that card with putting the HDMI in and out on the back of the card, so you have to use this back panel with two HDMI extension cords essentially. And also have to make sure that they don't get into the fans of the GPU. I can show that to you in a bit after finished with putting in the cards. Damn it. Okay. Why did I just... Oh, here. Pliers. The chat is remarkably silent, but hey, that's fine. Okay. Now all the cards are in. Now I can show you the issue with the cables. The HDMI cables can get into the fans, but lucky for me, I can just put them in below the fan connector, and then the fan connector holds those cables down and they don't get into the way of the fans of the GPU. So let's maybe see if we can bend those PCI Express power cables in a way that they are a bit more out of the way. That should do the trick, at least once the case is closed. So now, oh, that was smart. I did not hook up the SATA cables before putting in the graphics card. that was not the smartest thing of me to do. Well, I can still reach two of them, so that has to do. Oops. Let's see. Maybe I have some shorter SATA cables lying around here somewhere. I'm right back. Well, it seems like that I do not have any shorter cables on hand at the moment, so I'll just have to use what I have. Or maybe, where did I put that? One more in here. Let's check. Well, maybe not. Then it's just the cables I already have lying around here. I can switch them out to shorter ones some other time. Okay. Now, wait, are they keyed in two different ways? No. Okay. Can't see that. Keyed. So one hooked up. And the second one. So that's going to be, yes. That's SATA connection, and let's see where we can fiddle this around and get this out of the way first. And this down here, and we can put the spare cable over here and finally hook them up here. Carefully bend that like this. Okay, now that's taken care of, and that's taken care of. Those cables taken care of. Everything is put back in where it's supposed to be. So essentially, let's see, I think I lost a couple of those thingies somewhere. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, all there. Good. So let's take the accessory box and put in all the things we don't need right now. So I'll find them again when I finally do need them. because I'm not going to throw away the big box the whole thing came in, as if everything goes to plan, I'll be moving by end of next week, and then I can just put the whole PC into the box where it's nice and protected while moving. So that side looks good. Oops, what was that? That didn't sound right. Oh, nothing. Now that side looks good as well. Everything is hooked up. SATA is hooked up. Power supply of the graphics card. Power supply of the motherboard. So let's put back in the cover. If we can figure out how that's supposed to be accomplished. Does not seem to be now. Now that's back in place. Well, I think time to close it up and power it on. And we'll see how it's going. And if everything is going to work, which I hope will be the case. And then I will take care of... Oh, we can just power it on now, and let's see if we can do that somehow over here. We have to untangle some cables first, but it should be doable. Let's see. Here we have the DisplayPort cable. Now, that was the wrong way around. So, DisplayPort, some spare network over here. Network cable. And for the, here we have the keyboard and mouse. And we just use temporarily the power cable of the soldering station. That's the easiest way to get power right now. Okay, let's see. Let's maybe put it back on this side so we can monitor the inside while we power it on. So, display is hooked up. Keyboard and mouse is hooked up. Network is already also hooked up. Power supply is hooked up. So, now let's switch on the screen and also make some space because kind of put my laptop there where I normally keyboard and everything is. Okay. Camera looks good as well. Okay, now I'm switching on the power switch of the power supply. The GPU is indicating that it has power, which is interesting because I didn't think that the 12 volt rails, or maybe it's just switched on for a split second and the capacitors are still charged. Okay, now for the final moment. It's working! And it's also lit up. Yay! So one thing that will definitely happen soon is I will going to be replacing the Blackmagic capture card, because I don't know if you can hear that noise. The loudest fan currently in the whole system is the fan of the capture card. And, well, I'm not a fan. I'm definitely not a fan. So, one thing that I don't like is how long BIOS post is taking. It's not supposed to take that long. Unsure what's happening. It doesn't output anything in the screen. Well, I have the signal, just BIOS screen and nothing else. Not 100% sure what's going on. So, entered setup, but it's still like thinking. Oh, that's a nice color. I like that way more. Oh, now we see more. Let's see. What does it say? It recognized the SSD card on board. It did recognize also the hard drive. Did not recognize the SSD for Windows. Now that's interesting. So let's power it back off. And let's give it a look. What's causing the issue with that? Let's switch out the SATA cables and see if that's making a difference. If that's making a difference. Okay, it's powered back on. I mean, the good thing is, I did not mention it, but actually the SSD I put in there is not the SSD where my Windows is on currently. Okay, so that one booted a whole lot quicker. So it almost looks like the SSD is broken. Yes, that SSD actually does not contain my Windows partition yet. It is what's going to become my Windows partition. Is currently on a different SSD that has reached its lifespan, which was my intention was to replace that SSD with this one, which is supposedly more or less unused, but now I'm not so sure of that. Actually only was used a couple years ago at the Chaos Communication Congress for backup video recordings. Okay, that also worked a whole lot quicker. So let's check what the BIOS / UEFI is currently telling me. Okay, let's see. System, hard drives. No, it finds the SSD. Now that's weird. Well, I think would be a really wise idea to eventually. Oops. That I didn't want to do. It would be a good idea to sooner than later replace those SATA cables with newer ones that also are shorter. I have them somewhere, I just wasn't able to find them right now. But if I look around I will find them. So, okay, now let's give this a go and boot into Linux, and if that works then I will call it a day. It's also already it's 3:35 in the morning, so might not be the worst thing to go to bed soon. Okay, Arch Linux is booting. Now I have to kill the microphone. And I'm back. I had to quickly kill the microphone for reasons. Well, that's taking longer than usual to boot. I'm not a fan. What's the problem? Should have done a verbose boot. Should fix that. I don't know why Arch Linux is not defaulting to verbose boot. No, it's taking way too long. Way too long. Let's unplug the SSD again. I think that's the problem. Still not working. So reboot. Not really sure why suddenly that's a problem. And BIOS post didn't take longer than usual. Much longer there again, so I'm sorry. Okay, it's weird. Does not want to really work. Okay, another reboot. It's strange. Let's see, let's make this boot not silent. And see what's going on. Okay. Okay, now that's interesting. The start job is running for. Oh, yeah, it's system D. System D is stalling the boot because it is not able to find the Windows, the disk where Windows is normally on, and it's just stalling. It's just being system D. Oh well. 50 seconds of 1 minute and 30 seconds. So in a couple seconds it's 30 seconds more. Then we should get a login screen. Everything should be alright. Well, I mean, hey, that was better than something else being broken. I can live with system D being system D, but not with anything else being broken. So, yay, that's good. Just the usual caveats of running system D. Oh boy. Now system D is dropping into... Okay, I'm really frustrated right now. That drive is marked in F, in ETCF step as not necessary, yet system D says it failed to mount all local file systems and basically stops and halts the whole boot. Oh gosh, that's annoying. That's really annoying. Anyway, I think now it's just software problems, but the hardware works. So I will call this a day, and if you watched, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I will hopefully soonish get back to streaming more regularly with a bit of better views and better audio, because, well, the streaming PC is put back together, so that works. And with that, good night and see you sometime soon, hopefully sooner than later, and bye bye.